Omari Oruwari me mumae. Ibiamenabo. 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 Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibaro.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare. Asa ibare.
Ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibaro.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare. I Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Aneme goje.
Asa ibare.
Ikege Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Aneme goje.
Asa ibare.
Arasa timbariye.
Asa dibirie.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibaro.
Yera Jesus yaname.
Jesus yeremi.
Asa ibare. Aroru na mieye yanawa.
Oru segiye.
Aroru ma sekite. Emenabo. Tane bwebe ubi kwa yana. Aneme gode. Asa ibare. Asa ibare.
Asa ibaro.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibaro.
Dema digi mangito. Tano bebwere miye. Asa ibare. I Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Jesus yanamo.
Asa ibare.
Ikeke Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Aroru sekete.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare. Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Asa ibare. Asa ibare.
Asa dibirie.
Yara Jesus yanara.
Jesus oremiye.
Oremiye oremiye. Etamuno be odumorare.
Asa
Aleme gote namo abiobelare. Asa ibare.
Asa ibare.
Oru anaboro teware. Oru ware ma bororare. Oru ware yo. Asa oforiyo.
Asa ibare.
Kumbatam no be ware.
Asa ibare.
Imukuma anigba fiafia raro.
Asa ibare.
Etam no ware meso kuma. Aduke kare. Eya sati bariye. I Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
I Jesus yanamo.
Asa ibare.
Ikeke Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Jesus yanamo.
Asa ibare.
Minabu Jesus yanamo.
Yera Jesus yanara.
Jesus yanamo.
Asa ibare.
Father, we thank you, oh God, because you're able to do it. And so, Lord, right now, we come against every satanic force, every spirit of darkness, power from the waters, spirits from the waters, counter spirits, spirits that walk in the dark. Right now, we rebuke every one of you, and we destroy the works of Satan. Because the Bible says, for this reason was the Son of God made manifest, that he might destroy the works of Satan. Father, we ask, oh God, that you have your way. Let your name be glorified today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Briggs. All well said. That was very nice. Moving on, we are on item number 4. Introduction of the moderator by Bishop Manuel. And as usual, great occasions need great people to monitor and do all what is necessary to advance it. And at this point, I will call on Mr. Caribou Briggs to come on and do the best, and as usual, what he has been doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Unfortunately, we are starting late, but as the moderator, I will assure you that we're going to leave early. We'll move right along, handle issues that are relevant, and the ones that are not very necessary for this convention, we will defer on those. At this juncture, I will call on the Assistant Secretary to call on the members, registered members, and declare that we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good morning, everybody. Welcome everyone to Houston. As you can see, we have a quorum, but I don't have a complete list of all the registered members. I think Amabo has a list and he's outside somewhere. But we do have a quorum to start this convention. So I will say let's continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pugh. At this juncture, I'm going to call on the Vice Chair, Mrs. Inkotaria, to give us the protocol, rules, protocols, and procedure for this convention.
Very short.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Houston. This is Houston. And welcome. On behalf of the board of Abonnema Foundation, I welcome you all. This is our 7th convention, can't believe. I have been to every one of it. And I can't believe that this is our 7th one. God has been very kind to us. We've been very blessed. There hasn't been any mishap since we started, and this is going to be a very peaceful one too. Every year, by this time, we come together. The board gives account of our stewardship, and we put our house together. But we need their input. We need everyone's input. Everyone is very relevant to this meeting and to Abonnema Foundation. We are all stakeholders to this foundation. And so we need their input. We need criticism. We need adds and subtraction. We really need everyone to speak up. But in so doing, please, I will urge that whenever you want to speak, you signify by raising your hand. I assure you, you will be recognized. And while we are here, please turn off your cell phones. Or you can mute it or put it in vibrate. We are here for a serious, very serious deliberation. This is the core reason why we are here, why Abonnema Foundation is here today in Houston. This convention, this hall right now. So let's put some more seriousness to it. No talking. If you want to talk, no side talking. If you want to talk, please raise your hand and be recognized. I welcome you again to Houston. And also on behalf of the committee, Convention Planning Committee, I also welcome you to Houston. Let me remind you, Houston is huge and it's hot. So there are 2 things you need while you are here: cold water and GPS. Welcome again, and let the deliberation begin. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mrs. Inkotaria. In our midst here, we have a brother, a very distinguished gentleman in all his endeavors in life, and especially in activities that pertains to Nigeria, how organizations and people in the diaspora can impact on Nigeria. Without further ado, may I invite Dr. Eke to the podium.
Good morning. I joined Mr. Bob Manuel in welcoming you to Houston as well. Yes, this is my second week in Houston in my efforts to get the River State Foundation to where it is. And I already feel like a Houstonian, so that's why I'm welcoming you to Houston. But I have a special welcome for our guests from Nigeria, Honorable Aoyesuku. I do welcome you to Houston and to the U.S. I know, of course, you're a frequent guest here, but it's always great to see our leaders join us, try to get a sense of what we're doing here as well. Well, I stand here before you this morning representing the University Foundation's Caretaker Committee. I stand here as a brother to each and every one of you. Stand here as a neighbor as well. I'm from Abua. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kenoye Eke. And as an Abua man, of course, I feel a special kinship to this group. Okay? I represent the River State Foundation's Caretaker Committee because of an email I received a couple of years ago. Like each and every one of you will receive emails on a daily basis. And you never know what any of the emails could lead you to. I happened to open this particular email, and boom, all of a sudden I saw this mandate, a letter from a judge appointing me and a group of others to a caretaker committee for the River State Foundation. It was certainly something I was unaware of. I knew there were some issues and conflict going on. But that email really led me to, or began this journey, a journey that has taken 2 years for us to get here, a journey to resuscitate our beloved River State Foundation. It's been an interesting journey, one full of learning opportunities, one I believe that has led each and every one of us who've been involved in the effort to grow tremendously. The journey has also made us even more committed to making sure that as Rivers people in diaspora, we have a very strong voice, a voice that is independent, one that is also focused on the public good for River State. So the committee has worked diligently over the past couple of years, trying to build bridges, trying to make sure that we reactivate the sense of pride that people had in the River State Foundation. I believe we've done a decent job, if I may say so myself. We've put together a very interesting, very illuminating, I think, will be illuminating for those who are there, illuminating convention that happens to fall a long time or coincide with your convention. My presence here this morning is evidence that collaboration or talking, communication is a great thing, okay? Because before my conversation I had a couple of weeks ago, the feedback we were getting was that the Abonnema Foundation group was really upset with us because, again, we're wondering why we scheduled the River State Foundation's meeting at the same time. But after explaining the procedure, what happened, I think your representative, Mr. McCary, was very understanding and facilitated my presence here this morning. So I'm really grateful to him. I'm grateful to the organizing committee, at least for what you've done, and also for giving us the opportunity to be here this morning to invite you to have a great convention and invite you to participate as much as you can in the activities of the River State Foundation Convention, a few blocks away from you, literally a few blocks away from you. I'm not going to bore you because you have a very full schedule, but I thought I should mention a few things quickly. Yes, I know your agenda is full for today, but tomorrow we have elections taking place. The two things that the judge asked the caretaker committee to do were, one, organize a convention, to facilitate the election of new officers. Those are the two tasks we were given as a committee. Tomorrow we're going to fulfill the second task. Of course, the mere fact that we have hosted the convention is evidence that we'll fulfill the first one. But the second one is very important, and we need to hear your voices. So I do hope that you're scheduled for me to join us tomorrow. The elections will start at 9 a.m. The leadership, one of the things I've learned in many years in leadership, as I'm sure you here, and all learn, is that one of the most important decision we make as leaders, or as individuals, is to pick good leaders. If you pick good leaders, guess what? The rest is take care of itself. Bad leadership could destroy or wreck any organization. So we take that very seriously. We invite you to come help us, join us in helping us pick the right leaders. Good leaders could help the foundation move forward. As we work side by side, we work collaboratively, we leverage each other in trying to make sure that we advance the interest of the Rivers people, regarding our state in general. So please join us tomorrow, and we look forward to breaking bread with you at our gala event tomorrow night as well. I must say that some the foundation members will be here, hopefully at the gala event tonight. Unfortunately, I will not be here because I have to rush. I'm hosting two events, one in Shreveport, Louisiana, so I'll be back and forth between these two cities over the next couple of days. But I hope to be back early tomorrow morning to continue this exercise. Wish you all a great convention, and look forward to our conversations beyond this point. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eke. We are on item number 7, and I'm going to call on our brother, Mr. Cleo, to give us the readings of the last convention and for us to be able to help.
Good morning again. Unfortunately, I don't have the detailed minutes of the last convention because the Secretary General, as most of you know, resigned his position. He has the full detailed minutes of the previous convention. But I have a communique that summarizes most of the points or the agenda of the last convention, that most of the things that the foundation was going to carry forward during this year. And what I'll just go through it now. I'm sorry that I didn't make copies, but I will make copies and pass it around later so that everybody will have a detailed copy of the communique. And emails, maybe it was a long time ago and most of you must have forgotten it. Okay, the communique reads, the 3-day convention was attended by over 100 delegates from the 50 states, Great Britain, Canada, and Nigeria. The convention discussed the state of the Abonnema Foundation, the absence of economic activities in Abonnema, a town that was Nigeria's first seaport, the abundance of oil and gas in the Akoko local government area, and the scandalous poverty of our people despite the abundance of a wide array of natural resources. After very exhaustive discussions of various issues raised, the convention resolved as follows. 1, to redouble our efforts to mobilize the Abonnema community to reopen Abonnema Port. The Abonnema Port predates the Port Harcourt Port, and Abonnema was the first home of trading companies such as Lever Brothers, G.B. Oliphant, and SCOA. The abandonment and closure of this natural deep seaport is not only an injustice to the Kalabari clan, but the entire Niger Delta region. 2, to usher in a new spirit of partnership with Akoko local government, chair, and the entire Akroga local government council, the Worldwide Inyemoni Improvement Society, the Kengema Menobo, and all elected Abonnema sons and daughters at the State and National Assembly to identify initiatives that will deliver continuous sustainable development with the capacity to awaken the Abonnema community from its slumber and admit her into the committee of communities that are prepared for this 21st century. 3, to provide youths from the Akoko local government area with technical skills needed in the oil and gas industry. 4, to vigorously push back the idea that Abonnema, Calabari, Rivers, Ijaw, or Niger Delta youths and peoples are lazy. 5, to renew the call made by Abonnema's son, Chief Dr. Dele Patrick Cole Jack, to the Nigerian federal government to prevent the illegal bunkering of crude oil estimated between 200 to 500,000 barrels of oil per day by tracking oil produced in and exported from Nigeria in order to identify and prevent illegal shipments. To establish the Abonnema Chamber of Commerce and Industry to spearhead the revitalization and rebirth of economic activities in Nigeria's oldest seaport. And the conference strongly believes the only remedy to pull Nigeria from the brink of a failed state is to correct the practice in which the federal government in the country is given legal authority to appropriate all the revenue from the juices, resources in the country, which it in turn dispenses to the states and the local governments according to criteria which are blatantly unfair and loaded in favor of sections or units of the federation that presently contribute little or no revenue to the federation account. Of the 6 principles for distribution or allocation: population, equality of states, internal revenue generation, land mass, terrain, and population density, none is favorable to the 10 southern states, i.e. Abia, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Imo, Lagos, Ondo, and Rivers State, which between them account for over 95% of the revenue accruing to the federation account. This contradiction makes Nigeria a federation in name, but a feudal empire in practice. To advocate dialogue as the only means of resolving disputes in Calabari, River State, and the Niger Delta, and to promote goodwill and understanding amongst all the peoples of River State in particular and Nigeria in general, signed by all the boards of directors. So these are what we discussed in the last convention. Haven't heard what was read. Does anybody have anything to add, or what's it called? Anything to say about or anything that you remembered from the previous convention that need to be added or removed from this communique? If not, I'll say this is adopted. Everybody say aye. Aye. Okay.
At this moment, I will invite our Honorable AF Chairperson, Mr. Infoy, to give us.
opportunity to connect with other members, start new friendships, and renew old ones while we support a vital philanthropic endeavor. As you may know, this year's convention theme is to mobilize resources for the revitalization of the Abonnema community. This gathering will enable us to generate ideas to further the objectives of Abonnema Foundation and raise funds to implement projects for the benefit of our community. I am grateful to the Abonnema community in our host city of Houston for your hospitality, and many thanks to the Abonnema Foundation Convention Planning Committee for all of your hard work in putting together this grand convention. I would also, for the record, personally like to thank Lincoln Snyder and the Abonnema Foundation Community Relations team for your tireless work on information dissemination as well as your community outreach. Many thanks to our corporate sponsors and partners that have provided valuable resource and support, financial and otherwise. Amongst them, Ameriprise Financial Inc., corporation that is a part sponsor of this convention, Limited Brands and Victoria's Secret Stores, who donated merchandise for your benefit for this convention. These corporations, for the second consecutive year, have supported our efforts. I also welcome and acknowledge the many dignitaries in our midst today, distinguished personalities and thought leaders in their respective fields. First, the Honorable Akruga Chairman, Barrister Paul Awesu. Honorable Paul has been a friend as well as a member of this foundation. I also would like to welcome Chief Elekema. It seems like Chief David Briggs just walked in. Welcome. Of course, Dr. Ike, who gave the presentation on behalf of Rivers Foundation. I would have liked for him to hear directly from me, but Abonnema Foundation do intend to collaborate with the Rivers State Foundation because collectively we can leverage, and forgive me if I have not mentioned any other names. It is my hope that you will all share your vision, thoughts, and inspirations with us during the course of the next 2 days. We thank you for your participation and are honored to be in your presence. There is one name that I actually omitted, which is, and forgive me please, Ann Q. Briggs. Through the stewardship of the competent board of directors of Abonnema Foundation this past year, the foundation made significant progress in many areas. Amongst them is the completion of the foundation's long-range strategic plan. The strategic plan will enable us to clarify our strengths and identify areas of focus. It will, in addition, enable us and be a reference guide for future operating plans. Understanding that we have to stretch our meager financial resources, the Board of Directors this past year shortlisted several programs to embark on. Prioritization of these projects were based on impact as well as the Foundation's ability to fully meet the cost of these projects. Abonnema Foundation, for the first time in its history, participated in the annual Abonnema Development Day Alale festivities in Abonnema in the month of June. The foundation also sponsored 3 key programs. The programs included HIV and AIDS prevention through health education, promotion of the health benefit of physical exercise and active lifestyle through sponsorship of a marathon race as part of the Alale activities. Cash prizes were awarded to winners. The foundation also gave away limited edition t-shirts to all participants. The festivities culminated with a cash donation to the Abonnema General Development Fund by Abonnema Foundation. Additionally, with the help of benefactors, the foundation is undertaking the design and installation of a Welcome to Abonnema sign at the Abonnema waterfront. The sign platform is currently under construction at the end of the bridge to Degema. When completed, the high-impact sign fabricated here in the USA with its raised platform will quickly become a new landmark at the gateway into the city. We are also making meaningful progress in establishing collaborative relationships with other philanthropic organizations, which will enhance our ability to make greater impact in the future. While this work is in its early stages, initial results are very encouraging. There are more projects to be undertaken in Amanapo, but the foundation's capacity to serve our community is directly tied to its ability to secure, preserve, and enhance its financial position. To ensure that the goals of the foundation continue to be met, I encourage you to give generously. You can, in fact, fulfill your philanthropic goals through Abonnema Foundation. In closing, my deep gratitude to the Board of Directors and all of the operating committees for your commitment and service on behalf of our people. Your dedication to purpose has made Abonnema Foundation one of the most revered organizations of its type here in the Americas. In the course of this convention, you will hear from the heads of the operating committees to give you status on their various projects. I personally look forward to the year ahead, and please have a productive convention. God bless Nigeria. God bless Abonnema. God bless Abonnema Foundation.
Thank you, Chairman. As we all can see, the hall is beginning to get full. The Board of Directors are aware now that they will have to reconsider the time that the meetings are set, the convention meeting is set to begin. So the board will deliberate on it, and hopefully by next convention, they will give us a time or start the convention when we will be able to have enough people to attend. Obviously, to me personally, I feel 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is a little bit too early. So hopefully the board will work on it and take some analysis and come up with what can really work for Abonnema Foundation. Having said that, I will quickly like to acknowledge the planning committee members that had worked tirelessly to make this convention take place in Houston, Texas. Some of them are not here, but quickly, I will acknowledge all of them, and for those that are here, please acknowledge or identify yourself. The first person is our Vice Chair, Mrs. Abonnema Convention. We have our Treasurer, Mr. Amabo Makari. We have our Regional Director, Lincoln Snyders. Unfortunately, I have not seen him, so for sure he's still planning. We have Miriam Briggs, she's not here either. We have Vivian Jack, I have seen her somewhere. We have Mrs. Ibiba Makari, she's still planning. She's not here yet, but hopefully she'll be here. We have our sister, Mrs. Imaba Ekine, she's right here. We have our brother, Mr. Wilfred Inkotaria. We have our sister, Asrama Snyders. She's not here at the moment. We have our sister, Mrs. Tina Jackson. And we have our brother, Mr. Igunibo. I think I've seen him. Right. Thank you for all your work to make it possible for us to be here. The next agenda we have is to bring up our CHI chairperson, and that is by person of Mr. Napoleon Mokuma. So, say welcome to us. Thank you.
Nabomade Obolade. His Excellency, Honorable Chairman Akuga, respected chiefs and elders, the organizing committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols of that. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Houston Calabar community to this convention. I sincerely thank the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity as the president of the Houston Calabar community to give this welcome address. As it is always said, in the beginning of any feast, the cook should contain his anxiety and say as little as possible by way of introduction. So I will be very brief. But it will be very disingenuous of me if I do not address the crucial issue of concern to me, and I believe many of you. This issue has given me so much thought and concern. This unity in Calabar Kingdom. We face a crippling lack of trust amongst us, the Calabar, as a result of this problem. I want us all to take a retrospective look at what the Kalabari Kingdom has lost and stand to lose in the future in River State politics and governance and Nigeria in general. We have lost prominence, individuals, opportunities, properties, respect in the eyes of onlookers. We should not be blindsided with little progresses that are made by individual communities. Collectively, we will definitely achieve more. We should realize that what happens to one community affects the rest. Cultism that ravaged the entire Kalabari community started from one community. It eventually went around almost, if not all, the Kalabari community. I am from Buguma, paternally, K, maternally, but I can trace my lineage to Yellow in Bagana, Bob Manuel in Abonnema, and many more communities in Kalabari and outside. And I know this is true of many of you. Menabu, we are one. In the mid-80s, an organic commissioner signed my personal form when the Kalabari commissioner refused to sign because of my last name. He told the secretary to tell me to take it to the Director General from Bugma. Meanwhile, the town I claimed on that form was King. In 1999, we could not ascend to the highest office in the state because we decided to cut our nose to spite our face, the effect of which is still haunting us to this day. We decided to sell our souls to the devil. We are still bleeding. We may have benefited individually, but are we really? In 2001, the oldest community in the entire Niger Delta, the K community, was attacked by a neighboring community, the Bile community, without any provocation. Kids, the elderly, men, and women were murdered in cold blood. Some burnt alive in their houses. They capitalized on the disunity of the Calabaris. It is a repeat of what happened in Nelem Tema, if you can remember, when the Onagbanijika capitalized on the disunity of the Tema people, Tema, the part of Tema to play. I understand the anger and rivalry, especially in the three major communities. Certain structures in this modern dispensation do not seem to work for the collective interests of the Kalabari Kingdom. Therefore, need some considerable changes. Professor Tam David once said, and I quote, "When an individual or organism remains ossified, evolution passes it by and it dies." He went on to say, nature itself abhors fixing. We all know that. Everything remains the same. Keep changing. For Kalabari Kingdom to compete favorably with other entities in the state, we need to change certain things that prevent us from benefiting like others. The generational animosities need to stop and let the new generation work to correct the mistakes. What I'm saying is, without unity among the Kalabari community, we cannot ascend to the highest office in the state. They know how much we dislike ourselves, and they will always use that to pull us down. Should there be a potential Kalabari man or woman? The age-old divide and rule tactics. Only we, the Kalabaris, can solve this problem. Do we continue to dwell in our anger and continually spite our face, or come together to solve this problem? God offers to every man this choice between truth and evils. Take which you please. You can never have both. I think that was Emerson. To some, it's unachievable, but I have the words of Wilfred Newman as an inspiration. Vision is the world's most desperate need. There are no hopeless situations, only people who think hopelessly. Kalabari Kingdom must work together for good and existence. At this point, I extend a further word of welcome to everyone here this morning, this afternoon. It was supposed to be in the morning. This is a Calabar event, not just Abonnema Convention. So let us all contribute to the purpose of this convention because it is ours. We are one. I hope you enjoy the rest of the morning, afternoon program. And thank you for sharing this special event with us. Welcome. Minapo Bolatu. God bless you. God bless the Abonnema Foundation, and God bless the Calabar Kingdom. Thank you.
One more round of applause for as he had noted and brought to our attention this convention from his speech. It should have been presented in the morning, but we are in the afternoon. The program also specifies we are supposed to have a short break between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m. Since we started late, I am recommending to the chairman and the board and also the general convention attendees, if we can, continue instead of taking that break.
It's a 5 minutes toilet break, permissible, so that people can go in and come back. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for agreeing with me. We have in our midst our ex-king brother, Chief Precious Elizabeth.
My most respected chief here, David Briggs. May I greet the board of directors and the chairman of Abonnema Foundation. It's incidentally my cousin, so I'm sure that he's happy that he brought a chief from his family to come and grace this occasion. I want to congratulate you on various personal and collective achievements over the years. I will congratulate your families who saw the vision and denied themselves so many good things in life in preference to your future, which today has multiplied explosively to the benefit of yourself, family, Abonnema, Calabar, River State, and Nigeria, and indeed the entire world. Let me thank the executive body of Abonnema Foundation who had planned this 2010 convention, and the residents of our great city, Houston, who are hosting this convention. This success means loss in time and finance, and period when the world is in great depression. The objectives of the founders of this foundation are worthy to be applauded, as their intention was and is to uproot the good things they have seen in the Western world and transplant into Abonnema, a sweet town coined York City, which we inherited from our great fathers and ancestors who founded the city in the 19th century after their migration from the ocean. in spite of the difficult terrains and challenges they faced in development of infrastructure, they were able to build a great city with beautiful buildings, which today, as you go around most of the old cities in the US and the UK, similar like buildings, and you will appreciate the enormous task and wisdom they applied in achieving that feat. In that process, they built what we call the Abonnema spirit. The Abonnema spirit was a spirit of merrymaking, a spirit of clubbing, a spirit of togetherness, a spirit of eating together, and a spirit of one person's problem was the other person's problem. I doubt if that is still the situation today. The issue and the problems facing Abonnema, as most times I have heard and observed, were always taken to be finance, trying to raise money to do one thing or the other. But this is not an era of raising monies to do developments. Abonnema's greatest problem is how does Abonnema manage their human resources? Endowed, blessed, given by God Almighty, protected by our deities, and made possible by our mothers who have toiled day and night to produce great sons and daughters who have benefited and have sat on enviable government positions, both elective and appointed. And what is this issue? If you recall, from when Nigeria was 12 states, Abonnema had 2 ministers. So in a 12-state structure, with a federal executive body of less than 12 ministers, we had 2. And since from that point, we had always had a federal presence in appointments, state presence in appointments, local government presence that we already have. But how much of this do we have in terms of putting it on a scale? My close relationship with government shows that government depends on compromise, lobbying, friendliness, and whether there is budget or there is no budget, a lot of things can be achieved in government. Because, and I have said it many a times in private to a lot of people, that the Abonnema Foundation needs to partner with the Abonnema Council of Chiefs. The Abonnema Foundation are innovators who left the shores of their fatherland in pursuit of great endeavors outside, and they have achieved most of them. And as times are changing, there is a change of skin and change of body taking place, where we are supposed to take over from our dying parents and take over leadership of our different families and compounds and subheads. But many of us are here looking very young and somehow like abdicating from our responsibilities, and we blame a lot of people back there, forgetting that they are getting old. And if you add 10 years to most of you sitting down here to your age, you will see that when your father died, he was stronger than you. And when he achieved what he was still under that. So, being exposed to Western world and wearing beautiful things and beautiful suits shouldn't deceive us that we are young. I just want to say that we should think and know that within the next 10 years, most of us are in forced retirement, whether we like it or not. Police, what I want to say is, I have identified Abonnema's problem as planning, not money. If Abonnema Foundation sits down with the Council of Chiefs and says, a budget is going on in the state, we have members of House of Assembly who will seek to approve that budget. So, there are some assembly people. What are they carrying to the table for approval? Because the budget is to be divided into 23. 100 billion divided into 23. So, you know what is on the table. And the budget period is an annual period for 12 months. So, at the end of the 12 months, it's like a report card. This went to the budget. It was approved. Was it done? So you find out that even if we achieve one project per constituency every year, because you are going to approve budget equally, you will approve for Abua, you will approve for Krika. So why will they not approve your own? At the best, if the money is too much, they say, okay, you cut down a little bit, the other one cut down a little bit. So if we have that situation going on, Abonnema will have a minimum of 2 projects a year. Finished. So as you move from Osara, beyond the college side, you must identify 2 things every year, minimum, from the assembly people. Because they are approving a budget of which they are members. We have commissioners who are articulating the budget before it goes for approval. So why won't this body and the Council of Chiefs sit down to say? Regardless, a lot of them will say that I was made commissioner by myself. Yes, but when they count it with Abonnema. You became commissioner by yourself. But as soon as you are out on the road, what do they do? They start taking you to where you come from. Say, Abonnema has this. So the town has the duty to benefit, and you have the duty to benefit for your individual self. 2 things. So I would advise this house to sit back and not be talking about raising money to do projects. We have enough resources. We have minister for petroleum. I don't blame them, they don't know. You are the minister for petroleum, unsupervised for the past 2 years. But he doesn't know that the image was not in the budget. You can speak to oil companies working across Adam and the rest, and they can bring in gas turbines for us. But you won't blame him. But if we sit down together and articulate and make tasks for one another, at the end of every year, we will get something out. So I'm really seeking this body to think about planning Abonnema. About planning Abonnema is to sit down, look at what we have, and see that 12 months we must have a report card, something to show. Anything other than that, how much will you raise to do what? I'm aware that this body has been working on the general hospital, and I have shared it with some of my friends here. Say, how do you work on a project? The doctor is not under you. The nurses are not under you. None of the staffs are under you. Not even the security men are under you. They transfer them at will, bring them at will, They do whatever thing they want to do. And you are thinking about buying a lot of equipment into them that you don't even know when they're carrying it away. I said that this place has the potential of sitting with the governor to sit down, to articulate what they want, and the money will be brought on the spot to do it. So if you have a minister, you have commissioners, you have assemblymen, and all these things, how do you raise money? I rather advocated to say that go and sustain the old health center we had. Let it be a private one. You have a lot of retired nurses. A lot of retired nurses, you can revolve the funds. A quick response centers, you can achieve a lot of it. I won't bore you with a lot of things, but I'm sure that I've passed my message to you people. That I am part of you because I live in Mobile, Alabama, and I have my kids there, and they are also here. But I'll quickly highlight a couple of things. And these things I want to highlight here is some of the things you want to think of. Think of commerce. When we were young, all from Osara down, there were a lot of things going on. Most of these things are converted by our churches, a lot of things. Think about commerce. $1,500,000 will produce small cottage industries, which could create employment and all that. I have tried to do something at Abonnema. You know, I have telephone license. I took it to Abonnema. And we started very well. Unfortunately, Abonnema crisis came. When Abonnema crisis came, my workers, according to them, they said they saw people killing people right opposite them, cutting their heads. So they left the equipment running and bolted away. And the equipment crashed away. And we are still battling with it. I didn't give up. All endeavors are made to carry people down there. Nobody wants to go there. If they are going, we are paying through our nose in hours. And I recently just decided to take some of our boys locally there, taking them to Slovenia for training so that we can solve this problem. So I want to encourage a lot of you people to think about commerce. The other thing I want to quickly say is unity. You know, we celebrate the downfall of one another. We are happy something is wrong with somebody. That is not the Abonnema spirit. The Abonnema spirit is we must eat together, move from one place to the other. It is missing, even here. So, back at Abonnema, what we should concentrate is unity, to see if we can come back with the spirit that we can go together. And lastly, I want to plead that we have to encourage education. Without statistics, I hear our friends from some upland part of our state are claiming to be superior today, which I dispute, and I stand to dispute because the few Calabari boys who are involved in militancy, they are less than 0.1%, for which to be written up that we are not doing well in education. But I want us to take that challenge seriously and see how much we can put together in terms of encouraging that. I thank all of you, and I wish you good convention, and wish your families well and your spouses who are giving you people strength and energy to put these things together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Elekema. One more round of applause for him. Chief Elekema, thank you again. This is another work for Abonnema Foundation and the Board of Directors to look into. in summation, what Chief Elekema is telling us is that we should move beyond individual effort and rather try to identify projects, if possible, be a lobbying group, be an advocacy group, have a follow-up, and also look into successful implementations of efforts that we embark upon. Thank you. Having said that, we have in our midst Dr. Steve, pardon me if I don't pronounce it very well, but I will try. Anya Ruo.
Yes.
Please, it's your time to give us your presentation.
Pediatric emergencies. So actually I'm an ER physician and also a pediatrician practicing in New York City. I'm here to present to you my invention. While I was living in Nigeria, I've always thought of giving back to my people. And this idea has been coming to me since 1998. And I actually put it down, have a patent for it, and then this is development. So I'm going to present to you hospital in a box. Many countries have actually made significant progress in health delivery, but the progress is not evenly shared. The richer countries have actually made bigger progress compared to the poorer countries. And even within the countries themselves, there's difference still there between the poor and the rich. But it is my belief that every citizen of the world is entitled to comprehensive health care, irrespective of your tribe, your religion, your creed. And this is our journey and inspiration to make healthcare more accessible to everybody. I'm going to show you different parts of hospital. You have a handheld device. You can do vital signs, temperature. You can do blood pressure, actually. You can do EKG. You can do spirometry, which is lung function test. You can do pulse oximetry, measurement of oxygen level in the blood. And you can do, the handheld device is kind of real time. So you can actually use it to examine any part of the body and be able to capture pictures and transmit to any part of the world. And it also has a wireless technology whereby, I think I'll come to that later on, where those information can be transferred to any designated server. I'm pretty sure, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, that this will be very useful for our people back home. For the first time ever, healthcare providers will be able to quickly perform comprehensive examinations and send this data to specialists, any designated server, like I said, and I'm going to explain that in detail as we go along. And like I said, you'll be able to do EKG, which is examination of the heart, lung function test, spirometry, tells you how good your lungs are, pulse oximetry, oxygen level in your blood, otoscope, ear examinations, temperature, blood pressure, and then the handheld device that can be used to examine any part of the body. EKG will help us to examine the function of our heart. How many people are doctors here? Okay. It's a 12-lead EKG. You know, you'll be able to give you the heart rate, the P duration, PR intervals, PR duration, and you'll be able to diagnose abnormal heart like arrhythmias, pericarditis, enlarged heart, and many more. And this is how the reading is on the device. Okay. Spirometry is lung function test. You'll be able to measure those data, the forced expiratory volume in 1 minute, forced vital capacity, and they will tell you whether your lung is normal, obstructed, or restrictive. And this is how you see on the device. The graph you see down here is just, as you blow in, is plotting the graph. And then at the end of the day, it gives you the reading up here. So at the bottom here, it will tell you whether your lung is normal, restrictive, or obstructive. Pulse oximetry measures oxygen level in the blood, and it will tell you the pulse rate. Usually somebody coming in panting, it might be cardiac problem, it might be a lung problem. This will actually help you make the differentiation. Next slide. And this is how it looks like on the device. So that is the oxygen level, and that's the heart rate. Otoscope is an examination of the ear. Right now, when we doctors actually examine anybody's ear, we're the only one that sees. But with this device, we're able to capture pictures. This is a normal eardrum. This was a kid I saw in my office about 3 years ago with cutting wool in the ear. This one now that had a bit in her ear. This is an ear infection. This kid actually this was a funny story. The mother came in and said this kid was not hearing well. And when I did the examination and I said, okay, let's try, give you something to help soften the wax. As soon as the wax, and the kid started hearing better. So this was just impacted wax in the ear. This is how it will look in the device. The previous picture is when you save them. That's one. Our blood pressure, we all know, it will help us to diagnose whether we're hypertensive, hypotensive, or we're normal. And this is how it will look on the device. You get your name, and then these are the readings here. The handheld device can be used to examine any part of the body, actually. You can use the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the throat, skin, extremities, and many more. This side looks like. This was a kid that has strep throat that I saw in my office sometime also. This is still the same kid, that's the back of the throat. This was a case of child abuse that came to my office. For me to be able to document the abuse, I had to take pictures, and I was able to use the handheld device. This was another kid that came to my office with what? So I was able to use the handle device to capture the picture. And this was another 21-year-old kid that came in. Eventually, it was found that he actually had a gangrene there. This was a lady that went to pierce her ear, and the back of the earring got stuck there. So the advantage of the hospital in a box, it is cost saving. You don't need special paper to print your EKGs, actually. If you really want to print them, you print them in regular paper. I was in Abuja in 2005, toward the end of President Obasanjo's regime. And when I got them and I gave them the demo, the chief medical officer then was excited. So I was asking, why are you excited? He said, oh, do you know we have an EKG machine here? I said, well, it says locked up. Why? Because they don't have the paper. This is a true story. Because they don't have the paper to print EKGs. So this is going to save a lot of cost. Data storage, I know, growing up in Warri, anytime I go to the hospital, they always open a new card for me. Anytime I went there, they always give me a new card. So with this, you're going to have data stored, and you're going to retrieve them anytime you get back there. It can be battery operated. Right now, we have a battery that, if fully charged, can actually work on for about 4 hours. And we have extra backpacks that can also give you 4 hours, so if you combine about 8 hours. You can use a cigarette lighter. All you don't need to do is to connect this to this cigarette lighter, and you connect the device here. You don't need a big space, as you can see. I know back home we build big hospitals, but really nothing in there. All you just need is a small room and a bed, and you have a well-equipped hospital with you. If you have a vehicle, you have a train, you have a boat, or you have an airplane, you can actually use a hospital in a box. And this is how it looks like. Who are the potential users? Hospitals, clinics, doctors' offices, house call doctors, nurse practitioners, mobile clinics, military installations and battlefields, emergency rooms, ambulances, natural disasters, such as hurricanes and earthquakes. This can be used. It can be used anywhere. Currently, in the third world countries, the ratio of one doctor to the population is about 100 to 200,000 people. It is going to be difficult, actually, to give everybody comprehensive healthcare by this kind of ratio. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to improve the efficiency and productivity of our doctors. And this is how this machine has been designed. These are the machines. So assuming this is Abonnema, one is in Abonnema here, and maybe this is Degema, maybe this is Soku, and some other villages around the Port Harcourt area there. And you have your servers anywhere. It can be anywhere. It can even be here in the United States. It can be in Port Harcourt. And you have a doctor that has been assigned to these people. Here, it can be anywhere also. It can be in Degema. It can be in Ghana. It's here. When these people here, one thing I have to tell you, you really don't have a doctor. You don't have to be a doctor to be able to operate this machine. You don't have to be. I went home too, and one minister was actually arguing with me. This is my profession. No doctor does EKG. No doctor does spirometry. Yeah, so these are done by technicians. So he was actually arguing with me. So I just left it at that. So you really don't have to be a doctor to be able to use this machine. So when these technicians or whoever have been trained to use the device sends all this information through the internet to designated servers, the doctor that has been assigned to this location will be able to log in and review the data and send his prescription back to them. So by so doing, instead of this, assuming this Assuming this person here sees 10, that's about 50. And this doctor will be able to help improve the health of 50 people who actually have in contact with them. So this is where I think we'll be able to help widen that gap, which is the ratio I just showed you. By so then we'll be able to improve our productivity, the production of our doctors, and the efficiency. That's like this. All right. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of us in the box. These people are not smart enough to use computers. All right? There are icons here. Okay? All you just need to do, you click on the icon. Assuming I want to do my pause house now. You click on the icon. So it is capturing now. You see the blue bar going up and down. Okay, so it's giving me a reading. Okay? That is the pulse oximetry. I wish I could project this on the screen.
That would be very nice.
Huh?
That would be very nice.
Yeah, I wish I could project it, in the past before.
Well, they would. That's okay.
So while I'm doing this, or while the technician is doing this, he can be doing other things because he really doesn't have to. Because this is going to read on his own.
Have a reading.
We have a reading there.
What does it? What cannot say.
That's what I can tell you that.
We cannot say it, but we have it.
Yeah. All right, the patients, doctor, patients, confidential. And the temperature is pretty easy. Just here. So we're putting information and just have a reading. Okay? So this will be stored in the database also. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that, like I always tell my patients, the best birthday gift you can give yourself is a medical checkup. That's what I always tell people. The best birthday you can give yourself is a medical checkup. As soon as you celebrate your birthday, once it's your birthday, make an appointment to see a doctor. So, having said that, you agree with me that if we can get our people to get checkups regularly, we'll save many more lives. The lives that can be that of our mothers, that of our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our daughters, and our sons. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steve Anyaruo. At this moment, if we have questions, our brother will be willing to take those questions and offer some answers.
Cost.
How much does it cost?
My name is Wilfred Inkotaria. I was a guinea pig. My question to you, I think it's twofold. One is in the different components of your packet box, and have you included things? Especially, there is a lot of malaria type of problem in our area. Have you included things like that, including X-ray capacity to the box, number one? And then, what kind of cost are you talking about? Since you wanted, and then, since the medical doctors would continue to interpret data that came out to make sense of what they are reading. So has the system, the new concept and ideas of taking medication to the remote areas, have you talked to the medical community in Nigeria? And maybe it's if they are able to adapt to beginning to use this type of invention. That's my question.
Thank you very much. I will start with the medical community. As a matter of fact, I gave a demo to the Minister of Health on the 1st of August this year. They loved it. And they've actually asked me to send them a proposal. All right. So I think that's, if they certify it, that means the medical committee is going to certify it. You said there are 3 questions, right? I want to go with the cost last.
There was the cost, so that there is affordable within the community we're talking about.
Yeah. The cost is affordable because I know we have money. We have money. So we shouldn't even talk about cost here, really. If we really want to talk about cost, we have money. That I know. Each unit is going to cost $30,000 if you buy less than 1,000 pieces. If you buy between 1,000 and 2,000, it's about $25,000. If you buy 2,000 above, it's $20,000.
You remember you showed some remote system that works with it. You showed some central remote.
No, those are servers. Those are just ordinary computers. Any computer can be a server. All you just need to do, my technicians will just make the device talk with that server. Yeah, any computer can be a server.
The other part was
Oh, the malaria. Okay. Well, another colleague of mine is here. You really don't need special tests for malaria back home, apart from blood tests. If you really want to make a diagnosis of malaria, which is the microscopy actually, blood smear. But you can do a temperature here. You can do a temperature here. The other question you asked about externals, those are in the pipeline.
Don't you think you're giving a rather wrong impression that this is going to solve all the problems? Because unless you disagree with the general view or general understanding that the best ancillary thank you.
Speak up, please. We're struggling to hear.
Hello? What I'm saying is, my understanding of the teaching worldwide is that at the best you can get facilities like this to help you diagnose no more than 30% of things. You've created the impression that which is
those data to the centers. And then the doctor will now have to go through. So you see a doctor, you see a doctor.
I understand that, but you haven't created the impression that at the best, that's benefit without seeing the patient's benefit. So in other words, that product at the best will help the doctor make a diagnosis in 30% of the cases.
How long were you home?
Sorry?
How long did you go back home? No, but that's long time ago. I mean now.
No, but that's not very. What I'm asking is a very fundamental question.
Okay.
That at the best, an ECG so that I have the impression that you're giving that's more than that. So it's not necessary.
No. A doctor, let's get this clear. A doctor is needed, please. A doctor is needed. I'm not in the business to drive doctors away from business. A doctor is needed. They all went to medical school to learn how to treat people. A doctor is needed all the time. All the time. Why I'm saying this, I'll give an example. If somebody is in Jedo, which is my village, in Opa local government area, okay? And if he wants to see a doctor, he will have to travel from Jedo, nearest place Ekman, or he goes to Central Hospital in Warri. Okay? What I'm actually preaching, I say, it is my belief that every human being deserves comprehensive health care. And toward the end of my talk, I did say the best gift you can give to yourself is medical checkup. After your birthday, you do a medical checkup. So you don't really have to be sick to do that. And if somebody, I'm pretty sure if most of us do spiral here now, we're going to see some of us that are obstructed. Yes. So the spirometry is very, very important. It is. I did all this in my office, and believe you me, when they blow in, and after you give them a boot around and you repeat the test, you see the difference.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Hello, my name is Anne Kubrick. I absolutely understood what this is meant to do for our people. Because most of the time, the problem we have back home, especially our people who live in communities, is inaccessibility to reach a doctor at any particular given time. Some of the conditions you've mentioned, and these are very silent killers, like the BP, the temperature, some other things, EKG. Now, most of the time, what kills our people is not, it's even the of diagnosis is wrong. They don't even have access to being diagnosed, not to talk of being treated. So I think that if this works, and if the Nigerian government buys into it, and for instance, we're here doing Abonnema Convention, so let's just restrict to my local government area. It takes like 2.5 hours to get from Soku by boat to Abonnema, which is where the nearest land is, to get you by car to any hospital outside of Abonnema, because really, again, we have a situation where in Abonnema you cannot even rely on any kind of health system that will even diagnose, not to talk of treat. You know, so if the Nigerian government buys into this, or state government or local government, I mean, at this price you're saying, even at $30,000. My brother, the local government chairman, is here. $30,000 is about 10,000 is about 1 point something million. So one of that is about let's say round figure, 5 million naira. I think people in Soku, Lake Sagana, Kola, and all those places that produce the wealth of this nation, I think each community in this area deserves one of these machines if it is proven that it works. Thank you very much. I'm interested.
Thank you.
My name is Loretta Dagogo, and I carried out a PhD research in maternal mortality. And one of the key things I found was that our health systems are being operated by TBA, traditional birth attendants, because maternal mortality is one of the key problems that we have in the third world. Now, I want to know if the TBA can actually operate this machine and how that she would be able to diagnose, because if diagnosis doesn't take place at the point of meeting the patient, it doesn't matter. And how would they have the facilities? Where will they pass it to? Where will it be transmitted to? We know that women die as we speak. There's some women dying now, their babies dying now. How will this help the system? And that's my question. And the aim of this machine is to make money or to actually promote health within the community. So if the machine is $20,000, $30,000, how many poor people can afford that? We know that our oil are being executed all the time. We are being manipulated and oppressed all the time. When I carried out that research, I really wept about what happens to women in that society. So the essential thing is, what are the key, you have the right motive, what are the key things you can do to improve health in that system? But if it's so technological, it's very technologically based, they need education to be able to operate this machine. I don't think the TVs I saw would be able to operate this machine. They are the health providers in that system that we live in, where we come from. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much. I don't know what the qualifications of the TBS are, but I'm pretty sure too that they can use a cell phone. All right, and I have seen an old woman, actually when I went back home I was surprised, sending text messages. No, it's true. Back home, I saw an old woman that I thought sending text message back home. So I don't know what the qualifications are, but I think somebody that has at least class 5 should be able to read.
They are illiterate.
Well, but then we have to train them. We have to train them. So because they are illiterate, our people should die. Yeah, because they are illiterate, our people should die. No, come on. So okay, ma'am. So what solution do you have?
What's the uptake here? How many clinics have it in the United States?
None. I own the patent. Listen. Listen. Well, apparently you're from England, so you don't know what obtains here. You have to go through the FDA before you can such machine. I own the patent here in the US. Okay? So it's only in the US here that you need FDA approval before you do anything. And it takes a long process. I'm in the process.
We are going to take just 2 more questions. And, well, I am seeing 3 hands. And we're going to take 3. But my appeal to everybody is please make it short and very brief, straight to the point. 1, 2 questions. It shouldn't take 1 or 2 minutes, and we'll wrap it up.
My name is Christopher Graves. I have a concern about this machine. My concern is the cost of it to afford. Right now in River State, Port Harcourt in particular, the poor people cannot even afford health care. I understand that if you are admitted in an hospital and if you could not pay the cost of your admission, you will be held hostage. It's going on, yes. The cousin told me, his wife just gave birth to a child, and it was 150,000 naira. She could not afford it. Till today, she's in the hospital, hostage. They could not release her and the child. So how can they afford this machine as expensive as it is? That's my question.
Well, Dr. Onworua is yielding to me to answer that question for him, and I will try the best I could. The cost of this machine, it is not intended for individuals or patients to incur that cost. This is a venture that government entities, cooperatives should be able to adapt into their system. Here in the United States, for the past 2-3 years, if not more, there has been an advocacy for remote medical practice. Recently, as recent as I think about a week or 2, I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about how in a very remote area that doesn't have a hospital, there is a satellite communication, diagnoses are being done, and those informations were uploaded, the data sent to a doctor far away to do the diagnosis, look at the diagnosis, and then recommend medications. And where emergency care is needed, immediately they recommend for the patient to be taken to an emergency area. This machine, in my own humble opinion, will help our people in the remote area, and the government should be encouraged to invest in ventures such as this. And this is one of the advocacies that Abonnema Foundation or other organizations should encourage.
Yes.
Thank you. One question over
there. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Adolf A. Caribou. Dr. C, wonderful presentation. I quite appreciate your presentation. But an occasion such as this, where the Abonnema people are seated, as you will agree with me, people back home are very poor. We must have passion for the poor. I don't know what is in your mind in making your presentation, but I seriously think that we should always think about the poor people as shown in your pictures. I don't think those people are rich people in those pictures. They are poor people. And so we must be able to have passion for them. I seriously think that this equipment, for the first time in coming, even a forum like this, at least one or two should be donated to the people of Akukutori local government. As a sample, a pilot project that will, at the long run, promote your efforts for other people to copy from your own good questions. And so I want to think about what's going on in your mind. You have passion for these people, or you really want to sell the equipment. Because if you do have passion for these people, I seriously think that we should go home at the end of this conference with at least 5 or 10 of these equipment back home and tell people wonderful gift to the people of Akukutori local government area of the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. When I started this project in 1998, I discussed with some state governors they should come into partnership with me. Then, this would be kind of the money they put in, they don't have to pay a dime for each of the machines for the state. They refused. These are the people that are dealing with the poor people. They know how poor the people are. I've been doing this on my own. I've been spending every dime of my money. I have gone to the Nigerian government. They refused. So if the people who are actually taking care of these, our brothers and sisters back home that are poor, don't have compassion for them, then why should I sell this to them? Sorry. But down the road, though, I'm going to make a pledge here. Down the road, I'm going to make some donations to Abonnema. It's a pledge.
Thank you.
That's good one.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is John Bogmanel. Can you hear me?
Yes.
For people that don't work in the medical field, this will look strange, but this is just like telemedicine. I have some doctors that work with me that does exactly the same thing, sit in front of the computer and diagnose somebody. Now, all the equipment that is in that box right there is essential in any emergency room. Now, if you need an EKG, a separate course of EKG is quite hard. If you need otoscope, a separate otoscope is quite hard. All the equipment that he has there is needed in any emergency setting. So, cost should not be an issue. What issue is this? Do we need it? Absolutely. Can we use it to diagnose people? Absolutely. So if we get one of these, let's say it's provided in every health setting, at least the doctors will be able to look at the EKG, diagnose, and to treat the patient. You don't even have to do a telemedicine with this. Just provide it in the hospital right there, and it will serve its purpose. So that's it.
Mine is just to add to what my brother has just said, my sister here, and those of us who buy into this medicine in the box. I am pledging myself to be your marketer when you start. It's a brilliant idea. We need more of you in our country. So may the Almighty God, keep you, to achieve your heart desire. Thank you.
My name is Margaret. I just wanted to add to all the positives about this equipment. And in fairness to my brother and sister from the UK, you asked me a question if it has been used in America. But like we say, necessity is the mother of invention. If you don't need it in America, you won't use it. He knows what we need back home. And so his invention is tailored towards our needs back home. You know? Absolutely. Here you call 911, somebody will come treat you in your home and go. Yes. In Nigeria, you can't call 911 and have anything. So if it is someone to go to the nearest, tell you whatever it is, instead of traveling 3-4 hours to the nearest land before you get, you know, this is awesome. So we should support it. Yes. And the stage was set by Chief Eric Osuma this morning when he said, it's not for us to bring money out of our pockets to buy it. Now we have identified a need, we get around our chiefs, and now we know what we want in numbers now, and we present it to the House of Assembly or whichever government is necessary to provide these things. And we can get these things to the local government areas. So that's, I mean, this is a good time to present this and combine it with what the chief has said in his opening speech. I think we're on the right track.
This will conclude the question and answer session unless our doc here still has anything to add.
Well, just to say thank you for granting me this audience. I mean, God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayarwa.
What year will we be getting our box?
Abonnema Foundation. This will benefit the rural communities, not only even the rural communities, even the major communities, big communities. We do not have healthcare system that actually works. We should, from today, start to think about the logistics of how to implement, utilize this equipment that will save the lives of those that does not have easy access to medical care. We should encourage our physicians that can, on voluntary basis, be able to spare some few time, even after, for instance, if we have doctors that are in the US, the time difference, by the time in the morning they wake, in Nigeria they wake up, somebody is sick, and we have an equipment such as this that has been able to capture the data of somebody that is sick and sent across. By the time that doctor wakes up, he'll be able to see his computer is beeping, and will be able to advise to save the life of that person. So we're into advocacy. Dr. Stephen Anyarwa, thank you so much. And we are still waiting for your pledge.
Yes. We'll be in touch.
We have right now, we are going to call on our treasurer, Mr. McHarry, to quickly give us a report.